Okay, here we are after the break, and we have our, the scene we've created. We have our three-way fork with three answers. One of them is like taken care of because it like hides itself after you go once through it. But we want to do something different, right? We want to, like, for example, we want to make sure the answer number 2 or the answer with the order 1, as you can see, I want to make an FMV games with you, is selectable only twice. And the thing we want to do with it is we want to use a thing that is called integer variable. And the way we do it is not through dialog editor, but we will go back to Unity. And we want to create in wherever you want, but we have a designated folder here that it's called variables. We want to create a new, let's create, we can have all sorts of stuff we can create here, but let's say create variables and integer. Integer means that it is able to compute numbers, that it takes in numbers, that is a certain numerical value. And again, it's similar as previously. We have persistence type, we keep it a profile, we have default value, which is a number. We can keep it on 0 if you want. We can comment the variable, so somebody who will come, to our code knows what's happening. But we have also max and min value, which is like kind of self-explanatory, but it's the maximum value the integer can get and the minimum value it can get. But so let's keep our max value at 2, or actually, yes, let's keep it at 2. And now, in order to manipulate this specific variable, we will use scripts. So this is where things get a little more complicated, but not too much. And in order to work with scripts, we can either create them, manually, because scripts are, as anything else in Unity, objects with script components on them, or we can use Charles Engine's tools for that. So we will go back to dialogues and we will go edit, and now I need to create a script node, which is a special type of node that will allow us to run a script. And I can click plus and it will get a node here, right between those two, and I can right click on it and convert it to a different type. And what we want now is the script node. So let's convert it, and we have script here, but we don't have any script support there. Oh God, Charles Engine took care of me, because we have a create button there. I can click create button and it will create automatically a new script, and if I double click it, and I will, close this window, it created a new script right there in the scripts folder. I can save my scene just for it to be sure. And now we have the script object we want to fire our script from. And let's call it, I guess, inc script, like increment script. And it's a good practice to put multi-script here, which will allow us to run all the scripts in it, even though in this case it will be only one, but you can easily add some later. But I will add component, and I want to use the most simple script there is, and that's called simple script. So I will go like plus, and I have simple script there, and the simple script that does a very simple thing. Upon clicking plus, which is the list of actions the simple script will do upon firing it or upon activating it, I can manipulate variables and other objects. We want to manipulate variable here. So let's look up our variable, which is fork1. And we can, click on incremental script and drag the fork1. Okay, no, that's not that one. Sorry, I got carried away. We want to manipulate integer variable, right? So I will select incremental script and drag and drop integer variable here into this little box. And now in this drag and drop menu with no function, I can select the functions in the int variable subsection. And this is a list of functions that we can, do on this particular variable, and in this case we want to do is increment value, and this will just like add +1 to the value of the variable. And as we've seen previously, or we can double check it here, the default value is 0, so it will start from 0. So every time this script will fire, it will add 1 to the variable. So when we go back into the dialogues and edit and check it, now every time, like follow me with the logic here, every time we start from the fork, we will, while selecting this answer, I want to make an FMV games with you. It will first fire up the script, which will add 1 to our variable, then run the video and then return back. So like once, the variable will be 1, twice it will be 2. And now is where the fun part comes in. I will add a new condition via the C button here and click edit and start as we've seen previously. And now I will select the variable, integer variable, and now I can do all sorts of mathematical checks on it. And what I want to do is as long as it's less than 2. Okay, you have our like traditional operators here, greater or equal, greater, not equal, etc. But we will stick with less than for now and less than 2. And this means that once it gets to 2, it will no longer be true. And as we've said previously, if condition isn't true, it won't show the successive answer. And we can try it once again. So let's head into play mode. Okay, let's go play. Okay, I'll maximize it for you guys.
Hello.
And gals. Hello,
How are you?
Now we're
I've got your email.
And remember, we're working with a second answer. I want to make an FMV game with lots of variables, so let's click it.
Oh, that sounds fun. What
1.
kind of a game engine is that exactly?
And now if I look back, if I pause and look back into dialog, I can see that the condition is still true, so we're good. While the game is paused in runtime, I can also look up our variable. I can either like search for it or like look it up in some other way, but now we see it has a value 1. So we can like keep track in real time of the values of variables in case we want to, again, change something, debug something, or like, tinker around. And now if I continue and I will click once more, it will be
that
2,
sounds fun.
which should
what kind of a
make
game
our
engine is that
condition not
exactly?
true, and therefore make the answer invisible. Okay, here we go. Great. It's no longer there, so it works. And now if I pause again and the runtime, I see it as value 2. And if I click in dialogs and edit, I will see that the condition is false. But okay, so suppose I'll continue and I will, do the thing with donuts. I can skip videos with space, and now the only answer that's left is that one, because both conditions are false. And now it's time for the third part, where we combine all of this together.